You clicked on this video for a reason. Either you have a garden that is slowing down and you are not ready for it to be over, or you have empty space in a bed and no idea what to put in it this late in the season, or someone told you it was too late to plant anything and something in you did not quite believe them. Good, because they were wrong. There are 5 plants that go in the ground right now, not in spring, not next year, right now in the final weeks of summer and produce more food per square foot than most of what is already growing in your garden. One of them will be on your table in 22 days. One of them gets dramatically better the colder it gets. And one of them is the only investment in this video, meaning you plant it now and it pays you back next summer with the best harvest your garden has ever produced. I am going to give you all 5 in order of how fast they produce. Stay through all of them because the last 2 are the ones most gardeners never think about, and they are also the ones with the longest payoff window of anything you can put in the ground right now. Let's go. Plant 1. Radishes. 22 days from seed to table. I want to start here because most people hear radish and immediately think of that small, sharp thing on a salad that nobody actually wants. That reaction is exactly why most gardeners miss what radishes actually are in a late summer garden. Forget the taste for a second. Think about the math. 22 days. That is the time between dropping a radish seed into warm, late summer soil and pulling something edible out of the ground. Not weeks of watering and waiting and wondering. 22 days in conditions that most other crops cannot even handle right now. Here's why that matters. Radishes germinate fast in warm soil. Sometimes you'll see the first leaves pushing up within 48 hours of planting. And unlike almost everything else in a summer garden, radishes actually improve as the nights start to cool. The drop in overnight temperature that signals the end of summer to most crops signals peak flavor to a radish. The texture firms up, the sharpness mellows, the crunch gets better. The mistake that kills most radish plantings is not spacing. Gardeners plant them too close, the roots crowd each other, and instead of round, firm bulbs, they get long, twisted shapes that split before they're ready to pick. 3 inches between seeds, ½ an inch deep. That's the entire setup. Water once a day for the first week. After that, the roots are chasing moisture on their own. In 3 weeks, reach into the ground and pull one. If the top of the bulb is showing at the soil surface, it is ready. One 20-foot row of radishes planted today will produce more fresh food in the next month than almost anything currently growing in your garden. That is not an exaggeration. It's just math that most gardeners never do because they dismissed radishes before they gave them a real chance. Plant 2. Spinach. The crop that spring ruined for everyone. Almost every gardener who has tried spinach in spring has the same story. It came up, it looked great for 2 weeks, then the heat arrived and it bolted. Shot up a flower stalk, turned bitter, became completely useless. And somewhere in that experience, the conclusion formed that spinach is difficult and not worth the effort. That conclusion is based on the wrong season. Spring spinach is fighting the heat from the moment it germinates. It has a narrow window between cold enough to grow and hot enough to bolt. And in most climates, that window is measured in days, not weeks. Late summer spinach works completely differently. Seeds go into warm soil, which is exactly what spinach needs to germinate quickly. Then, as the plants develop, the nights cool down. The heat that would have triggered bolting in spring never arrives. Instead of racing against the clock, late summer spinach has time. It grows steadily. The leaves develop fully. And if you time it right, you are still harvesting into November from a planting made in late August. There is one timing rule that matters more than anything else with late-season spinach. Count back 8 weeks from your first expected frost date. That is your planting deadline. Miss it by 2 weeks and the plants will survive, but they will not produce the way they should. The days will be too short by the time they hit their stride. If you do not know your first frost date, stop the video right now and look it up for your zip code. Come back and plant this week if the window is still open, because spinach planted on the right side of that deadline is one of the most productive and lowest maintenance crops a late summer garden can produce. Plant 3. Bush beans. The second harvest your garden already owes you. Most people plant beans once in spring and call the season done when that planting finishes. They pull the spent plants, add them to the compost, and move on. What they are leaving on the table is an entire second harvest. Bush beans complete their full production cycle in 50 to 60 days. That is it, from seed in the ground to beans ready to pick, 50 to 60 days. Which means a planting made right now in late summer will finish its entire cycle before the first frost arrives in most growing zones across North America. This is not a workaround or a gardening trick. It is simple calendar math that most gardening advice fails to communicate clearly. Bush beans do not need a full summer. They need 50 days and warm enough soil to germinate. Late summer provides both without any extra effort from you. The one adjustment that separates a successful late-season bean planting from one that struggles is moisture in the first 10 days. Summer soil dries out faster than spring soil, and bean seeds need consistent moisture during germination to develop the root system that carries the plant through production. Water deeply every other day for the first 2 weeks. After that, the plants are established and manage themselves. Plant a row of bush beans this week. In 30 days, they'll be flowering. In 50 days, there will be beans ready to pick, arriving exactly when the rest of the garden is winding down and every fresh thing it produces feels more valuable than it did in June. A second harvest does not require a second garden. It requires planting at the right moment. That moment is now. Plant 4. Kale. The crop that gets better the colder it gets. Here is the piece of information that completely changes how most people think about kale. Cold converts the starches stored in kale leaves into sugar. It is a biological process, the plant's response to the threat of freezing temperatures. When the temperature drops below a certain point, kale begins converting its stored energy into sugars as a kind of antifreeze. The result is a leaf that was mildly bitter in August and tastes almost sweet after the first frost in October. Same plant, same variety, completely different food. Gardeners who know this do not plant kale in spring and fight the heat all summer trying to keep it from bolting. They plant it in late summer on purpose, specifically to hit the cold. They are not racing against the season, they are using it. Kale takes 60 to 80 days to reach full maturity, but the leaves are edible long before that point. Baby kale leaves are ready to harvest in as little as 30 days from transplant, and the harvest window extends well past the first frost, sometimes deep into winter in milder climates, meaning a single late summer planting can feed a household fresh greens for 3 months from one simple bed. Give each plant 18 inches of space. They get big. Water them in well at planting and again 3 days later. After that, kale is one of the least demanding crops in the garden. It handles drought better than most vegetables and fights off pests more effectively than anything else on this list. Plant it now. Let the season do the work. What you pull from the ground in October will taste nothing like what you remember from spring. Plant 5. Garlic. The one that pays you back next summer. Everything else on this list produces within this season. This one is different, and I want to be clear about that up front. Garlic planted in late summer goes into the ground now and comes out next June or July. It is not a late-season harvest, it is a late-season investment, and the return it delivers when next summer arrives is significant enough that experienced gardeners consider it the most important planting of the entire year. Here is what happens underground between now and spring. Garlic cloves planted in late summer spend the fall putting down roots before the ground freezes. During that time, they are establishing the root system that will power the plant through its entire growing cycle. Then winter arrives, the ground freezes, and the cloves go dormant, but not before going through something called vernalization, a period of cold that is essential to bulb development. Without it, the plant grows leaves but never produces a proper bulb. When spring arrives, those established roots give fall-planted garlic a head start that spring-planted garlic simply cannot match. The difference in bulb size between the two methods is dramatic. Most experienced growers refuse to plant garlic any other way once they have seen the comparison side by side. Plant cloves 2 inches deep, 6 inches apart, pointed end up. Mulch heavily once the ground starts to cool, straw works perfectly, then leave them completely alone until June. What comes out of the ground next summer will be larger, more flavorful, and more satisfying than anything available in any grocery store. And here's the part that makes garlic genuinely different from everything else in this video. The largest cloves from this harvest become next year's planting stock. Once you start growing garlic, you never have to buy it again. The garden reproduces it for you indefinitely. 5 plants, 1 on your table in 22 days. 1 that delivers a full second harvest before frost. 1 that keeps feeding you through winter. 1 that gets better the colder it gets. And 1 that pays you back next summer with a harvest that compounds year after year. None of this requires a large space. All 5 of these crops can grow in containers, in raised beds, in whatever gaps are left in a bed that summer crops have already vacated. The constraint is not space, it is not equipment, it is not experience. It is timing. Every week that passes between now and the first frost is a week of productive growing time that does not come back. The gardeners who are still harvesting fresh food in November while everyone else is looking at bare ground, they are not doing anything complicated. They are simply the ones who planted at the right moment instead of waiting for spring to think about it again. Now, I want to talk about something that comes up every single time I share content like this, because the most common response is not, "I did not know that." The most common response is, "I knew I should be doing this, but I never had a clear system to actually follow." Knowing what to plant is one piece. Having a daily routine that fits into a real life with real time limitations and real space constraints is completely different. Most gardening advice assumes you have hours each week and a backyard to work with. Most people have neither. The 5-minute garden system was built specifically for that gap. It was created by someone who grew organic food in 84 square feet on an apartment balcony while working full-time, and the entire framework is built around a 5-minute daily routine that keeps everything productive without taking over your schedule. It includes the planting calendar, the space-maximizing layout, and the exact daily checklist that makes late-season planting, like everything in this video, not just possible, but automatic. The link is in the description. If you want your first harvest before this season closes, that is where the complete system lives. And if this video gave you something useful, hit subscribe before you go, because there is always another planting window coming, and this channel exists to make sure you know about it before it opens, not after it closes. The season is not over. It just needs the right 5 plants.